Welcome to Thinner Peace in Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. Today is episode number 186, and I want to talk to you about the art of a joy eat. So stay tuned. Hi, everybody. How are all my dear friends today? Gosh, I really do feel like you're friends. I can't see your faces, but I can hear your voices from doing many sessions with you and getting so many letters and questions. I really feel like I know you, and you are me and I am you, and we are all the same. That's one thing I know for sure. And that's one thing I want all of you to know is that you guys, you're not alone. Seriously, the things that are bothering you and the things that you write to me about that have to do with weight, your body, and food is seriously an epidemic. And it's not just in this age group. It is epidemic around women starting at a very young age, I'm afraid. And unfortunately, I cannot be the one to be the crusader for all ages. But I am the crusader for this age is like, you know what? If we don't stop it now, when do you think you're going to? That's the question. So for a lot of you, what many of you write to me is maybe the question of maybe it's too late. I've been doing this for so long. I've failed so often. I can never do it. Those kind of thoughts, I hear it so often. And what I want to tell you is that seriously, this stage of life of menopause, it is like a kick in the butt stage. For lack of a better term, it is a kick in the butt stage. And I want you to know that you are being kicked in the butt. And that's why you have this, when you resonate with what I'm talking about, is because you know that I'm talking about something that's different. And you can feel inside your own bones that it's what is the truth for you. Because that's what happened to me is once I started hearing this, it's like I just knew it was true. It was like inside of me, it was the truth that I already knew. I just didn't know it until somebody else could point it out. And then I made it mine. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you make the work that I'm doing and teaching. I want to help you make it your work, your inner work. And I can't think of a better time than now to do it. And one of the things that I've really been thinking about, well, there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about because just like you, I think a lot. And I was thinking today as I was getting ready to do this podcast, and let me tell you that this podcast is a little bit of a surprise podcast for me because I actually thought I would be doing an interview with one of my beloved clients. And unfortunately, she's sick. And so we're going to have to put it off to the following week, which means I need content for you today. And so what's on my mind the most is a letter that somebody wrote to me maybe like a month ago, and I told her I would get back on a podcast and answer her question. So I think today is a perfect day to do it, being that it's fall. It's a time of change. So, the energy is pushing us in the direction of change. So I think it's a good time to talk about this topic. And also, I'm with my grandkids. They slept over last night, Sebastian and Ellie. They're now 3 years old. Ellie is 3. Sebastian is now almost 5. He's really still 4, but he's almost 5. And, change is inevitable. Like nothing stays the same. Nothing in your mind stays the same. People don't stay the same. Things don't stay the same. One thing you can depend on, if there's nothing else, you can depend that things will change. And what does that have to do with the topic today? Well, the topic today is about how you look at food and how you can change the way that you look at it. And one of the biggest changes that I think that I can help you with is to know in your own mind, which is the most important thing, is in your own mind, you seriously can eat whatever you want. And I think what a lot of women believe is that they can only eat whatever they want if they're not on some kind of diet and if they're not worried about losing weight. So in other words, if they're not on a diet and they've given up on dieting and they're depressed about their weight, then they tell themselves that they can just eat whatever they want, or they want to live in a world where they see other women who look like they're eating whatever they want and their bodies seem to be okay and they seem to be okay with food, which let me tell you, just from my own experience, usually is not true either. When you see somebody, don't assume anything. That's the most important thing, is don't compare your insides with somebody else's outsides. Like what you see at somebody else on the outside, it's got nothing to do with what's going on their insides. But what a lot of you do is you end up comparing yourself to what you see other women doing, especially with their bodies and food. So this is what I want to offer you. I want to offer you the option to believe that you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, anytime in your life. And probably for me, one of the most freeing thoughts is when I tell myself, well, sweetheart, you can eat whatever you want. And this is the truth for all of you. You do eat whatever you want anyway. Even if you tell yourself you can't, you always do. So here's what I want to show you. And this is from a letter from someone who wrote me. Her name is Heather. So Heather, if you're still listening, I am finally getting to your letter. And this was her question. Her question is, my brain is fighting me on this joy eating thing. What's the difference between joy and tasting good? Now, I can tell you from this letter that I'm not exactly sure what she's asking me, but I'm going to tell you what I think she's talking about and answer it in the best way that I know. But because the title of this episode is The Art of Joy Eating, and to be able to adopt a thought in your mind that you can 100% believe that you can eat whatever you want. I want you to really know that. And just because you think I can eat whatever I want doesn't mean you're going to be eating chocolate donuts, brownies, and potato chips all day long. That's the thing. It's like, really, when you think about it, you're not going to want to eat that all the time. But when you think about believing that, you think that that's going to give you the freedom to eat that stuff all the time, when in reality, you really don't even want to. You really wouldn't want to. And I think what ends up is you end up eating a lot of stuff, which some people are calling joy eats, and I'm just calling non-nutritious foods right now. And then I'll tell you the difference between that and a joy eat. But eating a non-nutritious food with no hunger and giving in to some kind of a craving where you feel like you can't control it is not what I'm talking about. And I think that action many times comes from a thought where you believe you shouldn't be eating it. And I think a thought like, I shouldn't eat this isn't good for me, somehow does the exact opposite. Not somehow, it creates a feeling of deprivation. And when you feel deprived, usually what happens is from that negative emotion, you end up eating more and more of the food you don't think you should be eating. So when you can adopt a thought like, I can eat whatever I want you to add to that, I can eat whatever I want, but what do I really want? What really is going to help me in this moment? And that's where you have to start using your mind and using it correctly, managing it. It's like, give your brain something to do. What is going to really help me in this moment? So when Heather asked me this question about the difference between joy and tasting good, let me explain what I think that means. So there are a lot of foods that quote unquote taste good. And I think what happens is many people use the thought of, oh, this tastes so good, or, oh, this is so delicious, that it actually creates a stronger urge to eat more food of whatever it is you're eating. It gives you a reason to eat, to overeat, especially when you also might have a thought running around right with it is, I shouldn't be eating this. It tastes so good and I shouldn't be eating it. So the difference between something just tasting good, fuel food can taste good, joy food can taste good, any food can taste good. And if you're physically hungry, it's a good reason to eat. Use the thought. You're eating like I might be eating a beautiful salad, or I might be eating whatever it is that I'm eating that I consider a fuel food. I might be thinking it tastes good. But if I use that thought, my mind, when my body is telling me I'm in a +2 and it's time to stop, then it's not serving me anymore. Then the it tastes good is different. Now, tasting good is no reason to continue to eat. The only reason to continue to eat is because your body is telling you it's hungry. How does your body tell you it's hungry? It tells you it's hungry because you are on the physical hunger scale and you are relating to what's going on in your body. And it's telling you I'm at a -1, I'm at a -2, I'm at a -3. I'm somewhere in the negative numbers and please feed me. If it tastes good, fine, enjoy it. No problem with enjoying a fuel food that tastes good when you're hungry. Now, what's the actual definition of a fuel food and what's the actual definition of a joy eat? So a fuel food is when you're choosing a nutritious food that is going to fill up your gas tank. That's what a fuel food is. Now, what is a fuel food for you? I'm not even going to tell you that. I know you're all really smart, and I know you know the answer to that, because even when I work with my brilliant clients, sometimes I'll go, do you think they'll put beer in there? Or they'll put something that I would probably consider a joy eat and they put fuel. And I'll ask them, I go, is that really a fuel food for you? And they go, well, I'm not really sure what my fuel foods are. Now, here is something where your brain just goes cuckoo. It's like, I do believe you know what your fuel foods are, and you need to be honest with yourself if it's a fuel food or not. If it is, call it fuel. If it's not, you need to know what to call it. Because if it's not a fuel food and you're physically hungry, you're doing something else. So here's the difference. If fuel food is eating a nutritious food when you're physically hungry, a joy eat is choosing usually a non-nutritious food that you enjoy the taste of, that has no nutritious value at all, and you don't even have to be hungry for it. How do you like that? But here's the deal. On a true joy eat, then you eat it bite by bite, and you enjoy every bite, and you stop the minute you're done. And I will tell you what, no matter how much your brain tells you how good it tastes, you stop the minute you are connected to your body that says, stop, I've had it. And when you can do a true joy eat without your mind telling you you shouldn't be eating it, it's not part of the plan, this is terrible, you are bad, all of the mind chatter, and you know that you are choosing this joy eat on purpose for the pure purpose of enjoying every bite, and you take the drama out of the food, then you are truly doing a joy eat. Does that make sense to you? And this is what I believe about joy eats. I think you're going to eat them. I think most people want to eat some joy foods every now and then. I do. And if you're one of those people that never does, fantastic. It doesn't serve you. There's no nutritious value. So if you never have a joy food for the rest of your life, your body is not going to suffer. But here's what I want to tell you. If you have a joy eat and you do it a small percentage of the time, so I would say 10%, 20% of your day, maybe 30%. If you do it, and when you do it, you choose to do it, you know it's a joy food, you intentionally enjoy it bite by bite, you stop the minute you're done, it usually has no problem in the body, and you feel like you just ate something that you really enjoyed. Just like if you enjoy a sunset, all of it. It is another joy factor that you can put into your life. It just that it has to be a small percentage, right? There's a lot of foods out there that are really navigated towards your brain to taste delicious. And if some of those foods do taste delicious to you, how much of it do you actually need to eat? So the difference between a joy eat, which is enjoying it bite by bite, And you usually don't eat very much. So if I'm eating potato chips, I might eat a few. Or French fries, because those are some of my joy eats. I might eat a few. I don't know exactly how many. But there's no drama around it. So I enjoy a few bites and I'm done. Right? Because my brain's not going crazy and making me feel deprived. It's just going, you can eat whatever you want, sweetheart. Enjoy every bite and stop the minute you're done. Totally different. Totally different. And I always believe that I can eat whatever I want, but what do I want? So for you, just because something tastes good when you're eating it in the moment is not a joy eat. It's a mind chatter telling you things that are usually creating urges. And the only thing I want you to pay attention to is if you have an urge and you're not physically hungry, then you need to attend to it. And there's a lot of podcasts I have about how to handle urges. But sometimes it's just a matter of telling yourself just because it tastes good doesn't mean anything. You stop because your body says you're done. Easy. That's practicing. And I believe that joy eating is an art that I would love to see you practice. Now, with my clients, most of them, what I say and what I tell you on the podcast is it's really good to plan a joy eat so it kind of keeps urges out of it. But in the end, even if you don't plan it and you really enjoy it bite by bite so that you can call it a joy eat, see what that's like. As opposed to your mind telling you shouldn't be eating this and you shouldn't be eating that. Now, if you find during your day, or if you are one of my smarter listeners and you're now food journaling, if you see a lot of joy eats in your food journal every day, then you know that you're looking for joy in all the wrong places because the joy that you're going to get from food isn't going to be very much, right? If it's a non-nutritious food, it's going to be very, very small on the totem pole. If you're finding that it's a lot in your food journals, then you know something else is going on. So that's what I want you to think about today. The art of a joy eat. The thought that I can eat whatever I want, but what do I really want? Because I go around all day long knowing I can eat whatever I want. And what I choose to eat is usually fuel food. Why? Because I want to feel good. I want to feel alert. All of that stuff. I have a million good reasons why I want to eat that, and it is what I want. And I know that you can get yourself to the same place when you have a lot of the mind drama out of the way and practicing joy eating where you really are connected to the taste only and you can stop the minute you're done is a way of empowering you to have a thought of I can eat whatever I want. Because you know you can, but you're not going to choose it that much because there's a lot other joy in your life anyway. Food is low. Food is food. And some foods taste delicious. Some fuel foods taste delicious. Some joy foods taste delicious. And guess what? You are the judge. You decide what you want to do. So for today, it's the art of a joy eat. I want you to practice it this week. I think the best way to do it for this week is plan it. Plan it a day ahead of time. Maybe plan a joy eat every day and practice. And you know what you're going to find? Number one, sometimes you may not even want it when it's planned because there's no urge. And once you get rid of urges, sometimes you don't want it. But if it's planned and you do eat it, enjoy every bite, stop the minute you're done, and get rid of the drama. I'd love to know how this works for you. So until next week, practice, 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 as always. And of course, I could never end this podcast without telling you to be very, very, very kind to yourself. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
If you're ready to take your eating issues to another higher, more improved level, well, it's time to talk to my wife, Dr. Deborah. She's helped hundreds and thousands of people. Just visit drdebbutler.com/work with me. You'll get a free consultation with Dr. Deb and find out if coaching and talking to my wife is a solution to your struggles.